MJF speaks ahead of his AEW World Title match at Full Gear, and it looks like Sasha Banks is done with WWE. But first, let's get to the quickfire headlines, as the Young Bucks would recently apply for a trademark, the Wayward Sons, for merchandising purposes and entertainment services, this back on November 14th. This was expected to be their new nickname upon their return to All Elite Wrestling, although plans seem to have now changed as the filing has now been abandoned by the applicants, although the reason for this is unknown. Over recent months, several released WWE superstars have returned to the company, and we now have some details on the contracts that they've received. According to Fightful Select, several talents that returned to SmackDown have 3-year contracts that will expire in the summer of 2025, although some of them were able to negotiate different deals through their representation. Some of the talents have also been able to negotiate the ability to pursue outside projects, as well as using outside platforms such as Twitch, something that was recently made forbidden by Vince McMahon, although the rules were loosened back at around WrestleMania. Mexico's biggest wrestling promotion, Lucha Libre AAA, will head to the Mullet Arena in Arizona in May, with the company now announcing the card for the show. He Held El Vikingo, Blue Demon Jr., Pentagon Jr., and Taurus are all amongst the names that will appear on the show, with some of Lucha Libre's biggest stars now heading to the Grand Canyon State. According to sources close to Inside the Ropes, the UK's World of Sport promotion looks set for a relaunch, with the consortium behind the project already speaking with talent. Two of the names who they've spoken to already include Nick Aldis and Mickie James. World of Sport was a staple of British television before its ending in 1985 following a change in management at ITV, and the brand would relaunch in 2016 before once again closing in 2018, partly due to WWE's mass acquisition of British talent for the NXT UK brand. Last night on NXT, the script's mystery would continue, as the mystery figure promised that their identity will be revealed next week, sending a warning to the NXT roster, and they would say, "Your cameras couldn't catch me, I got past your guards with ease. Now I'm here, everything after this will only be a breeze. Because I'm fast as lightning, smarter than you think. Moves are incredible, you miss it if you blink. Next week you will see that you and I aren't the same, so tell me who's the first to play a little game. Sincerely, Scripts." Elsewhere on NXT, the two top champions of the brand would retain their titles, first with Bron Breakker successfully defeating Von Wagner, with his next opponent seemingly confirmed to be Apollo Crews based on an interaction between the two later on in the night. Mandy Rose would later retain her NXT Women's title in a last women's standing match, when Isla Dawn debuted to cost Alba Fire her imminent victory, leading to the head of Toxic Attraction walking away as still champion. Former NWA World Champion Nick Aldis would recently reveal that he plans on leaving the National Wrestling Alliance when his contract expires in January, with him disagreeing with the company's current direction. Regarding his future beyond 2022, Aldis would tell Sportskeeda's Unscripted podcast this week that he looks forward to exploring free agency without commitment to a specific brand, a sign that he may not be heading to a major promotion such as WWE or AEW right away. Following his recent loss to undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, Logan Paul has his eye on another top WWE star, with him eyeing up a match with John Cena. Logan has revealed that he's already texted Triple H about the idea, and recently reacted to a report on Twitter that said John Cena is expected to be at WrestleMania next year, simply posting an eye emoji. And next up is a popular duo set to make their WWE return. Since their releases from WWE in 2020 and 2021 respectively, real-life husband and wife Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green have torn up the independent scene, working for multiple top promotions including Impact Wrestling, NWA, and GCW as freelancers, with their heel act becoming one of the hottest things outside of the United States' top two promotions. According to a recent report from Fightful, WWE have interest in bringing Chelsea back to the company, with her since leaving Impact Wrestling following her loss to Mickie James last week. Well, in a new report from WrestleVotes via Give Me Sport, she could be joined by Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder in WWE, were she to return, with Triple H said to be a fan of his recent work, and the report notes, "I've heard because of what he's done on the indies that Hunter is a fan of his." Cardona is not shy about being a lifelong fan, and Hunter likes people that don't shy away from growing up in this business. Hunter would 100% take Matt Cardona back, but I don't know if that offer has been extended. If he comes in with Chelsea, I don't know. I know Triple H really wants Chelsea back. Specifically, I know Shawn Michaels loves Chelsea Green, so if they want her, you would think they kind of make a 2-for-1 offer, like we'll bring both of you guys if you want. Cardona was recently asked about a WWE return in multiple interviews, with him insisting that were the return to happen, he'd have to do so under his real name of Matt Cardona, although I'm sure he wouldn't actually turn the offer down if WWE insisted on him sticking with Zack Ryder. Whether or not the duo will make their return together remains to be seen, but their impressive work on the independents has caught the eye of key figures in the promotion. Next up, MJF speaks ahead of his AEW World Title match at Full Gear. This Saturday night, MJF will compete for the AEW World Championship when he challenges Jon Moxley for the company's biggest prize. And since his return at All Out in August, he has received a very different reaction from the AEW fanbase, with him becoming one of, if not the most cheered stars on the roster. This week, speaking with the New York Post ahead of the big match, MJF would discuss the reaction he's receiving, insisting that it doesn't matter if fans cheer or boo him, pointing out that it's simply a sign of him being a megastar. The always humble salt of the earth would say, "Being anything other than myself, fully authentic, doesn't interest me. I am who I am. People will react to me the way they want to react to me. That's megastar shit. That's John Cena shit. That's Rock shit. That's Hulk Hogan shit." There were times in their career when they would come through that curtain and they got the loudest boo, and there were times where they came through that curtain and they got the loudest cheer. That's what I bring to the table. I think people need to stop worrying about fake bullshit labels and just enjoy this ride, because I'm over as shit and it is fun. MJF would go on to say that he doesn't want to change his presentation depending on the reaction that he gets, adding that he is authentic. As we've highlighted in the past, Stone Cold Steve Austin, arguably the most over babyface in recent memory, got over as a heel and continued that attitude throughout his run at the top of the business. Whilst it's too early to say if Max will reach the heights of Austin, it's clear that he's taking on a similar philosophy and sticking with what got him over in the first place. With that said, MJF will return to AEW Dynamite tonight for the first time in a few weeks after being taken out by The Firm, with his actual reason for his absence being his involvement in the upcoming Iron Claw movie, which centers around the Von Erich family. Expect some fire words from both MJF and Jon Moxley as they look to fan the flames for this weekend's main event. And next up, it looks like Sasha Banks is done with WWE. On last night's video, we discussed a recent trademark filing from Sasha Banks' real name Mercedes Varnado, who applied for the terms statement maker, Mercedes money, money talks, and Banks money for use in professional wrestling as well as other merchandising categories. This led to speculation on her wrestling future outside of WWE, with the news following a recent statement on social media where she teased an upcoming appearance or announcement coming in the month of November, something she claimed to have waited for 6 months. Immediately after last night's video went live, even more news broke on her situation, with Comic-Con Revolution announcing that she will be featured at their next convention at the Ontario Convention Centre in Ontario, California. What makes this interesting is the wording of the announcement, with her being announced as Mercedes Varnado, formerly known as Sasha Banks, leading to a whole bunch more speculation that her 6-month wait was for the end of her contract with WWE. Varnado's WWE status is still up in the air following her walkout on the company in May 2022, with some believing that she is now free from her contract, opening up big possibilities outside of the company. The first thing spoken about by fans is the possibility of a debut in All Elite Wrestling, especially with the Full Gear pay-per-view going down this Saturday night. On top of this, Saraya, who will be competing for the first time since her retirement in 2018, this after an accident in a match with Mercedes, promised that she will wrestle her again in an interview with Chris Van Vliet this week. Another possibility is an appearance at the Stardom New Japan Historic Crossover event this Sunday night, which sees stars from the two Bushiroad companies linking up for the first time for a joint show. One of the biggest matches on the card will see Mayu Iwatani and Kairi compete for the inaugural IWGP Women's Championship, with Mercedes teasing a match with the winner at the Tokyo Dome in January on social media recently. Somebody did point out that it could be a case of WWE working with Stardom, allowing Banks to appear on a few shows for the promotion, although if this were the case, I don't think she'd need to trademark a new ring name and would simply use her WWE name. I do think a move back to WWE shouldn't be ruled out, however, as another possibility is that she could fill the final slot in the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series next weekend, with the face team still needing one more member. Perhaps the trademarks are merely for outside ventures, such as a jewelry line, although the pro wrestling part of the filings do suggest otherwise. With this one, it's 100% a wait-and-see situation, with fans eagerly awaiting the next move of one of the biggest stars in wrestling. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 wrestlers you forgot wrestled in AEW.